Hi, I'm Trigger Strifey of Blank Trigger Gamers, and I know I'm going to get a lot of shit for this, but I have to address some things about Mighty Number 9 that people are saying because they're saying it's really bad, but it's not as bad as everyone says. I want to disclaim also that I am a backer and part of the Kickstarter fund when it first started, and I'm not saying this game is totally without fault. It's got its problems, I know it does. But I have a very different opinion of the game compared to others. And I want to make it clear that this is about the game and not the launch of the game, which I will say is one of the worst to date of any game that has ever launched. Everything about this has been completely bad. But to be quite honest, for me, this game is actually a great game. But it's being pegged as one of the worst games ever. And I really don't like that because it's making the game seem worse than it really is. And I just want to address some of the complaints that people are making about this game that I think are really dumb. Mighty Number 9's graphics were supposed to be like the concept art. There's been so many complaints about this, and I've seen it on so many videos, and I've seen it on so many reviews saying that it should have been like the cool 2D art at the beginning of the Kickstarter fund that they showed on the page. And it's concept art. It's always been concept art. They have never ever said that it has been like anything other than concept art. They've said this has no representation of the game. If you looked into the initial updates on the Kickstarter page and on the emails that they sent out, you would see that they never promised anything like that. Everything in the development phase was clearly shown to us to be a 2.5D game. At the beginning, they just showed concept art. Like I said, it's just concept. Games change all the time. They never actually look exactly like a concept art. So if you have any expectation that the game was going to look like that, the disappointment is more in you than them because they put it up front that it was never going to look like that, and don't believe that it was going to look like that. Here's another one. It was supposed to be the spiritual successor of Mega Man. Nowhere have I found on anything, any interview, any site or anything has said that this game was supposed to be the spiritual successor to Mega Man. I found other things that they've said, like it's supposed to be capturing the feeling and inspiration of Mega Man, but it was not supposed to be a spiritual successor to Mega Man. Keiji Inafune even said in interviews, if you actually break it down, in the character design or even what you're able to do in the game, it's very different from Mega Man games. But the average consumer or Mega Man fan takes one look and think that it's Mega Man. He knew that everyone was going to think it's a Mega Man game, but that was not the fundamental goal at all. He wanted to return to the classic Japanese side-scrolling action game. That was the main thing that they were going for, to recreate that feeling that everybody had, kind of like Mega Man. They also wanted to add new ideas to the classic formula. And if you've played the game, which most people haven't even touched the game because of all the controversy that surrounds this game, you would see that it does actually deliver on those points. It delivers a solid platformer action title with new elements that change the game a little bit. So people who keep blaming that this game does not deliver on any points at all need to actually play the game and realize that it actually does deliver a solid action platformer. The game's level design is boring, not interesting, and unfair. The game design is extremely similar to old classic Mega Man games. If you find it unfair, boring, and uninteresting, I really think the problem lies that you don't like Mega Man gameplay in general, because it falls in that category pretty easily when you play it. Some designs on the levels, I will admit, are mediocre at best. Some things are, it happens. I'm not going to say this game is perfect or anything of the sort, but in no way is it bad as people claim it is to be. And if you find it unfair, you can actually bump up the amount of lives to 9, which in my opinion makes the game super easy. You can just die over and over again and learn the stage pretty easily. To summarize all this, I just want to say Mighty Number 9 is a solid action platformer. It does have issues, being a mediocre script and story, frame rate problems, and some less than stellar design choices. But I wonder if it were to come out without the stigma of being one of the most successful funded Kickstarter games, would everyone be this harsh on this game? That being said, I understand everybody's anger towards the game. I understand that how everything was handled was really not well. It was not well at all. I am including myself in that group too. But I can see that this game could be a potentially good series and has potential. And I would hate for someone to lose their job or lose a chance at making a potentially better sequel to this game, because it does really, they can make it better, guys. They can make this game better. It's the first one in the series. But we've infected this game with such vitriol and anger over our expectations that we projected on it way before the game was even made or even be described as what we were getting. I'm no fault from that. I did that too. But I'm clearly seeing now that all that expectation shouldn't have been unwarranted. They never told me anything of the sort other than what we got. Some things were not as best put as they wanted to be, but we got what they were telling us throughout the whole development cycle. But I just want to say that this game could potentially be a great game. You just have to look deeper other than what everyone's saying and all the controversy and everything that's surrounding this game. It's just getting so bad that it makes me so annoyed that we can actually rally behind something so bad when the intention was meant for so good. And with that, I'll just leave it at that. And you can start getting your pitchforks and torches. I know I'm going to get a lot of shit for this because I have an unpopular opinion about this, but this is just my opinion and how I feel, and I like the game. To me, it's fun. I can play it over again, and I enjoy it. So this is Trigger Strifey of BTG, Blank Trigger Gamers, saying give the game a chance if you haven't played it, and if you don't like it, that's fine too. It's not without its faults, but it's not as bad as everyone seems to make it to be. Later. Thanks for watching our video. If you liked it, then give it a like. If you want more, then subscribe to our channel. So this is Trigger Strifey of BTG saying stay triggered, and I'll see you next time.